Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Dude, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's another day in paradise. Happy to be here and excited to talk more about Helios.
This is fantastic, man. Welcome, welcome. I'm seeing more and more people are joining. We got 7 people. So, guys,
Sweet.
if you're with us here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and shoot your questions down there so that we can find out. This is gonna be very interesting, guys, because we got Helios. So I have planned, as usual, some of this stuff. Let me start presenting my screen. I'm gonna add. This is it. So before we get started, guys, we got Helios, one of the projects which is gonna be launching which is building on TitanX and is gonna be launching very soon. Dude, he's gonna tell us. I think he hasn't mentioned yet when we're gonna be live, but nevertheless, maybe he's gonna hint in today's stream. We shall see. So if you're looking to participate in Helios, visit them on Twitter. I have the QR code here for you guys, and if you have any questions, you can also visit their Telegram here and also just their website. If you visit their website and click the docs, you're gonna find the um, the white paper if you want to find a bit more. So, dude, I have a little agenda here, guys, as always. So, we're going to start first with the introduction of Dude and his team. And then on the second part, we're going to look at Helios tokenomics and the value proposition. And at last, we're going to look at Helios smart contracts, the security in audits, what you guys have to plan. So, so that's pretty much it. That's the agenda. So, Dude, welcome, first of all.
Thank you.
I'm still figuring out here some of these controls here on StreamYard. Just give me a second. Uh, I'm not yet a pro as
Uh,
it seems, but yeah, there we have it. So now, dude, people can see you. Dude, introduce yourself and probably like how you got into crypto and also how you got into TitanX yourself and probably also your team.
cool. Start off with me. My name's Wes. You can call me dude. Seems like it works. I got into crypto I learned about Bitcoin in 2017 at the bull run. I had a couple of friends that were showing me, oh, Bitcoin's at 20,000. Oh, it's going to the moon. And I thought that was cool and didn't really do much with it. And then in 2018, the bear market came. And that's when I started looking into it, when it went from 20K down to 6K. And it felt like I was being the genius there. It was like, I'm buying the bottom. Yeah. And this is going to be awesome. And then I think a few months later, the floor dropped down to 3K and half my portfolio vanished. And it was like, welcome to crypto. uh, but Ethereum really caught my eye. I felt like, Bitcoin was very interesting to me and I love all the decentralized aspects of it. But then when I found Ethereum, that was what really took my attention. And I got into DeFi very early, I would say in 2018 as well, late 2018. Um, and that's been my favorite part about it, is uh, not just getting on Coinbase or Binance or whatever and buying just the main coins, but I feel like I got deep into it really early. And TitanX, I got in on day like 55 or so, somewhere around there. I just had a friend, give me a tip. Hey, here's TitanX. You should start a couple of miners and just see what happens. And went and looked into it and just was blown away with the game theory behind it, and just immediately got me hooked on it. And I've had I would say for at least a year, I've had ideas and plans on launching my own coin and had some kind of the mechanics, what I wanted it to happen. And then when Titan X came around, it all clicked together and it made sense on what I wanted to build, and just went head first into it. The Helios team is it's me running the show. I do have some development experience, but it's like 10 years old, so I'm way out of the game. I don't know anything Solidity specifically, and I wanted to build this on my own, but quickly realized that that's not an option. So I hired some professional developers, and I've got also a marketing person. So we're a 4-person team, and I feel like it's a strong team. I'm super happy with the production value that everybody brings to the table, and they're going to be around as we build, uh, you know, these V2 treasuries, and there'll be ongoing development to where the whole team will stay. It's not like a one and done type of situation.
Nice one, nice one.
Yeah.
So you said you guys are like 4 people, so it's like you, one, like, is it one developer or 2 developers and one marketing guy, or?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right, so 2 Solidity guys and then one marketing person as well.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So did you guys know like, I mean, so the Solidity guys which are working on, have they created something before? Like, what is the background?
They're experienced in Solidity specifically. That's one of the requirements I had. Um,
Mhm.
but it's contract. I found them on a freelance type website, and we've been working together for well over a month now, and I'm super happy with the results that they're putting in for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right. Well, that
Yeah.
sounds definitely interesting for sure. And the marketing person is like, what background does that person have? Is that just your friend, or did you get a
It,
professional?
I know the marketing person personally, and she is in marketing for her, which I guess you would call her day job. Um, so it was a perfect fit. She was happy to help and come on board, and like I said, she's doing a great job getting our name out there, and she runs the Twitter, helps moderate the Telegram channel, just all of the above.
Lovely, lovely, and that's nice.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you mentioned that at some point you were thinking of launching a token. So, what happened? Like, why didn't you not do it? And what made you to do it now?
Um, there was a long time of just the logistics of it, as far as like how exactly it works. It was kind of like I felt like I was 70% of the way there on my idea, but couldn't quite get 100% of it. And uh, a second time around, when I was like getting more serious about doing it, and then I was like, well, I'm going to start, coding something, and then quickly fell off with that and realized this is. I just got overwhelmed by myself, and uh, it just didn't work out really. And this time around, I knew, okay, I know this is what I want to do. I know I want to make this happen, and so that's when I didn't even mess around. I immediately looked at hiring other people and creating a team to make this a legitimate operation.
Nice one, nice one. Yeah, this is great. I mean, yeah, guys, first of all, we're getting more and more people now. There's 27 viewers. So this is great. Let me see what people are saying already. We got Duke of Booze saying cheers, everyone. And I see Dude himself is is having there some tea or something. Oh, I don't know. Maybe what are
Water.
you having there?
I got water, and then I got my coffee.
All right, all right. So I'm sure Duke is drinking something else, but yeah, nevertheless, that's pretty awesome.
Uh,
So my man Rich is in the house as well. He's saying, "I'm super thrilled for Helios." Absolutely, man. I
rock
think
on.
I see that on Telegram people are definitely joining, and there's more and more people. How many people you have on Telegram right now? Do you
I
know?
think we're up to like 375, somewhere around there.
Lovely,
It's
man.
been
So
a pretty steady growth. I've been happy with it.
fantastic.
Yeah, 375. And
Lovely,
then
lovely,
we're up to like almost 700 followers on Twitter, and growing.
lovely, lovely. That's sounds good. So I'm gonna share my screen again, and then we're gonna go through some of the yeah the mechanics of Helios, so people can understand it better. I mean, as you guys know me, I like to draw on my digital whiteboard, and dude is gonna take us through some of this as well. I'm going to see if I can show. Yeah, we can see each other there, but maybe I'm just gonna make it like this so that people. Yeah, so let me just zoom in a little bit more here, and then you guys can actually see. So let's just probably start at this part right here. I mean, as everybody knows, if you're already on TitanX, you know when you start a miner, it costs you ETH and time. But with Helios, it's a bit more different. So, dude, probably if you're looking at this right now, like starting from the top, can you like go through how whole system works?
Absolutely. It's as far as like the mechanics go, it is very similar to TitanX. You're using HLX like end time, like you said. When you start a miner, the TitanX distribution, it starts with the 28% going to the reward pools, which, if you notice, that's the same percentage that TitanX uses on their reward pools.
Hmm.
So with the same amount of usage, you could expect roughly the same amount of rewards. Uh, and as far as the reward pools go, we did drop it from 5 to 3, and that was part of that was community feedback, and then other part of it was Jake's feedback that he felt like 5 was too many, and so backing it down to 3 helps fill those pools larger, and then you get larger payouts, which attracts more people. So it made sense to me. Um, and then ours I'll get back to the reward pools in a second. The rest of the distribution, we've got 2% going to the Genesis, which I think is a modest fee for this. And that's the only fee in the entire system. We're not pulling anything off of our Treasury or the investment pools, nothing like that. And then 70%, the other 70% of that TitanX is going to either the buy and burn pool or the Treasury, and it's primarily going to be the buy and burn pool up front. This whole system, that's what kickstarts everything, and that's what we're going to dump the majority of our TitanX into. Um, but over time, the treasury is what it'll bring more value to the buy and burn pool than putting TitanX straight into it. You putting one TitanX into the treasury will over time produce more than one into the buy and burn pool. So that's kind of why we've got it set with the variable. It starts out primarily into the buy and burn pool to get us immediate liquid value to start the buy and burn off. And then as time goes on, the treasury fills up and the treasury starts supporting the buy and burn pool more so on its own. And then we can just kind of slowly take back the direct line from mining to the buy and burn and take the indirect route as far as going through the treasury, because like I said, in the long run, that's what's going to give us the most value for our TitanX.
Lovely. Okay. So probably one of the things I would like to know here is probably the distribution here. So we can see somewhat it starts at 10% and goes to 70%, and then the buy and burn pool starts at 60% and goes to 0%. So that 70% gets somewhat yeah, not there is like distribution over time. So can you explain this?
Do you have the documentation up? It's kind of got a chart on
Yes,
the
I have.
yeah
Where should I go to?
the TitanX distribution, down
TitanX.
one from where you are. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So here.
Yeah, so you see, it's going to be a weekly uh, update. So we have our daily update, just like TitanX would have, that updates all their variables, minor cost, and all that. But once a week, this will take over just 0.5%. So you see when we launch first week, it's 60% buy and burn, 10% to the treasury. And then after 7 days, it'll drop down 0.5%, and the treasury will move up 0.5%. And over time, I think it's after 840 days, which is conveniently 2 full cycles of Helios. At that point, it'll be 0% to the buy and burn and 70% all going to the treasury. And that's from then on, forever after that. There won't be any direct buy and burn from mining.
Lovely. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is pretty much clear now. Yeah, as you guys can see, it starts off with 10%, and over time goes to 70%, and then this starts at 60 and goes down to 0%. And you also mentioned that so this whole process will take 840 days to for the full cycle for this to happen, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. So now let's get a bit deeper here now, and that's regarding this part here. So now this is basic the treasury pool. This is where uh, seven. Well, I mean, at the beginning, 10% of the ETH, sorry, of TitanX is going to be coming in, and what happens with it? Can you explain this process here, please?
It gets max staked, 3,500 days, and once that stake's over, it'll be restaked. So it's never any TitanX that hits the treasury will never leave. It'll stay locked up in staking forever, forever earning ETH from that. And that's why we slowly tick over from straight to the buy and burn to the treasury, because that's where most of the value is going to come in from. And then with the ETH rewards that we'll be getting, that's where it'll primarily feed our buy and burn pool, 70% of it, and 10% of it going to our the stakers reward pools. So at that point, now when you're staking HLX, you're not only earning TitanX, but now you're earning TitanX and ETH. So initially, it's going to be only TitanX, but over time, it's going to turn into a lot more ETH than TitanX, just because of the distribution model. And then 20% of that also goes to our investment pool. And so we view the treasury as kind of like the fail safe for Helios. So with the mechanics of TitanX, if TitanX mining slows down, then you're getting less TitanX in the buy and burn pool. You're getting less ETH in the reward pool. So it'd be the same with us. If mining slowed down, the buy and burn and the reward pool will suffer. But that's where the treasury comes in. That's more of a perpetual burn. It's locking TitanX in there forever, giving us ETH rewards for the lifetime of the protocol. And that's what's going to support the Helios ecosystem. So even if mining slows down, the treasury will be there to continuously feed that buy and burn pool, continuously feed the stakers, and adding value to HLX holders.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think yeah, some of you guys I think definitely understood this. So one of the things I would like to ask, I mean, we're gonna get into it, but for now, I would like definitely to talk about the investment pool here because so 20% of the claimed ETH in the payout cycles gets to the investment pool, and for now, as what I understood in the white paper, this is just a multi-sig wallet. So, so explain to us how these multi-sigs work, and do you have access to it as well?
Yes, yeah, the multi-sig, it'll be using the Gnosis Safe wallet. It'll be a 2 of 3 multi-signature wallet, meaning you need 2 out of the 3 wallets to approve or any transactions. And I'll also use their time lock features. So initially, that wallet will be locked for a set amount of time until we're ready to, until the governance kicks off and we're ready to do something with the ETH and the investment pool.
All right. So now, okay. So 20% of the ETH goes to this multisig and with the time lock. So there is going to be 2 out of 3 keys to access that multisig. But all those keys are going to be you, basically, or like the team, the Helios team
Yes,
for now.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So now, but you're talking about like after the time lock has ended, you are looking into what is it, a DAO, or what have you mentioned there? I think I
Yes, yeah, I DAO. We
okay.
haven't launched that yet because we need HLX to launch first, obviously, and then
Mhm.
once we are launched, we can set up the DAO with governance and the multi-sig wallet. We can extend the time lock as many times as needed to make sure people are comfortable with what that is. And then once we've got the DAO and we're doing debates on what to do with this ETH, we'll put something to vote once we come to a consensus, and then once it passes the vote on that, and we will at that point build a custom smart contract uh, to follow the strategy that was decided by the DAO. And then at that
Okay.
point, we put the ETH into that smart contract, and then we're back to a trustless setup where it's an automatic flow of ETH into it.
Oh, I see. I see. All right. So I understand now. So that ETH basically, which is now in the multisig, will be transferred to the DAO once that has been yeah, created.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So now the governance of that DAO. I mean, maybe you're going too deep now or anything, but anyhow, I think this is still interesting for me. How are the people going to be voting? Are they going to be using their Helios coins, or how will that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I also would like to introduce, people. I think the people that are most aligned with the project are going to be our stakers and our miners as well. I think that should be more of a valuable asset than just liquid HLX holders. So I think between those three, we'll have some kind of setup, a weighted ratio of those things with, I would say, max stakers being the highest weight, or along with max miners, 250-day miners. I think those people should have more of a say in what the investment pool does since they have the most invested in it.
All right. Well, this is definitely interesting. So for now, I actually one thing which I didn't even think about yet is the miners. The amount of days is 250 days. Is that correct? Yeah.
Max, yeah, 1 to 250.
Ah, okay, okay. That's also something which maybe I'm just gonna write it here now. 1 to 250 days, because I think I missed that one while I was preparing earlier on. So I think that's gonna be great. So 1 to 250 days. Okay, okay. So now, still, let's take at the DAO because I think this is interesting now because so you're gonna have a combination of well the people who have who invested maximally basically with the mining of 250 and the stakes. How long are the stakes?
So we've shortened our staking as well. The max staking length is 830 days, which is just shy of 2 full cycles.
All right, so 830 days for the stakes, yeah.
830.
All right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay.
And we decided to shorten it to a lot of some of the feedback we got as well with the TitanX is people didn't want to commit to 10 years of staking to get their max bonuses. So we tried to make this a little more flexible for people, and to get a max bonus on staking, it's only, like I said, 2 cycles, so 830 days.
All right. All right. And what are the bonuses on the stakes? By the way.
It's up to 200% for a max stake, and that's a linear. So if you go half that, then you'll get 100% bonus.
Okay. So
And
you have the longer pays more bonus. Is that right?
yes,
Okay.
and the bigger pays more bonus we got rid of. We didn't want to reward whales for coming in. We want the shrimps to have the same uh, option to get in if they wanted to.
Nice one. Okay, that's also great.
And
Um,
then we
mhm.
and then one more bonus would be burning TitanX. If you when you go to stake, you can burn up to 20% of your stake value in TitanX to earn additional shares.
All right. So you can okay, I understand. So if you okay, let's go through this. Like if I'm a user now and I have my Helios miner, which is got so I have my liquid Helios right now, and if I want to stake it, you could I could also use TitanX. I could burn TitanX so that I can get extra shares. Is that
Yes, yes,
all right? Okay, okay. Okay. I think I haven't read through that one yet. It seems, and there's you have something very similar on the mining side, right? And
exactly. Yeah. On the mining side, it's up to 10%. Uh, And I capped it at 10% because that Titan X gets burned as opposed to going into our treasury. So the Helios ecosystem doesn't really benefit from that side of things. On the staking side, there's it makes sense because you're not using Titan X, you're using HLX. So we allowed a higher percentage on the staking side for bonuses.
all right, well, that's definitely interesting. I'm actually learning something new here. I mean, I thought I read through everything. Well, I guess I haven't. It's been a long day today, but nevertheless, we got dude in the house, so he explained everything. So why I want to go through some of the stuff here, and if you guys remember, some of you have know this the TitanX Google Sheet which I created for TitanX. I have now created. I mean, there's already like 2 people in here already, so it is being used. I am going to recreate this on titanxhub.com. And by the way, if you're new here and you don't know what this is a project which I created, titanxhub.com, and I have listed all the projects which are building on Titanx. And you can see Helios is right here on number 6. So if you're interested, go and visit titanxhub.com. The launch date is to be announced. Dude will not give us any dates here, and we got the white paper here, so just click and it will take you to the white paper, and you have the links here as well to the project itself, Telegram, Twitter, and their website. And the category is utility, and they are burning, well, Titanix liquid. This is a burn category. Yeah, so I might change this as well because it's not really burning per se, but it is locking, forever locking pretty much.
We're doing both, but I have noticed most of the projects they're not really doing a whole lot of burning. It's like you said, just locking.
Yeah. So this is also interesting, but yeah, so it's like burning slash locking, but you actually going to be burning as well. So that's definitely interesting. And then the liquidity pool is going to be TitanX HLX, and of course my main dude is doxed. I actually changed this because it was before it was not doxed, but you actually doxed. So this is quite interesting. Nevertheless, let's find out here. Helios. So I have created a new Google Sheet for Helios. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. I'm not yet 100% finished with it, but I will send the link to dude, and then he can share it with you guys. And I'm gonna share it on my Twitter as well. And I'm gonna put the link in the description once I'm done with it as well, so you can come back to this video. But anyway, I think some of the guys who have used this, they know how it works. But dude, explain to us here. Let's start with the column, the miner cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it starts at 420 million TitanX, and that's for a 100% power level miner. And keep in mind that you can lower that all the way down to 1%, which would be 4.2 million TitanX, and then all the way up to 100,000%, which would be the same as starting 1,000 miners all at once. What is that, like 42 billion, something like that? A ton.
Something like that. A ton, yeah. Like I heard like don't do math on stream, so I'm just keeping away from that.
420 billion. That's going to be my final answer.
All right, let's see what people in the comments what they say.
Yeah.
I see Marco the Hexagon, by the way, in here. Shout out to you, Marco the Hexagon. I still haven't received my hats. What's up, buddy? Nice that you're here, my brother. Thank you very much for passing by. And yeah, so the miner cost 420 million. Yeah.
And the price of that slowly ticks up every day. It gets more and more expensive, all the way up to 2 billion. That'll be the cap. And then at that point, it'll always be 2 billion TitanX to start a miner. And then the mineable per day, starts at 4.2 million HLX that you can mine per day, and slowly drops down from there all the way down to just 420 HLX. So you can expect the same kind of scarcity model with that you see with TitanX. You can expect that same for HLX.
Fantastic. Yeah, I see you also added a EA bonus. So this is
Yeah.
a bit more, yeah, like you changed it a little bit. So how does that work?
So a lot of it's very similar, but I dialed back a lot of the rewards, just because, like, if you saw with TitanX when they first started, the calculations were showing 3, 4, 500% or more ROI, but people were actually getting double that, and so we decided that scaling back some of these bonuses would still be plenty of an incentive to start miners, but be a little more healthy for the ecosystem, where we're not just like completely flooding the market with HLX up front. So with the early adopter bonus, it starts at 10%, works its way down to 0, just over 69 days. So it'll be a pretty quick drop off on that.
Yeah. So I mean, this is definitely like a really early adoption amplifier. Like after 60 days, no, 69 days. Well, I'm seeing you, man. You're picking some very interesting numbers here, man. 420 and 69.
Yes. Yeah. Not quite the same numerology as Jake's, but still some inspiration in there.
Absolutely. I mean, did you take some inspiration from Elon Musk or something? I don't know. He likes 420 and 69 as well, I think, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of the crypto community that is into those numbers, and I'm one of them. I enjoy it. They're fun numbers.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. So this is something new here, and it is called the mining burn bonus amplifier.
Yes, and that's it's going to be optional, and it's a static. It's not going to change whether you're on day 1 or day 1,000. It's simply, and it's dependent on the cost of your miner. So on day 1, it's going to cost, you want to do a full miner, it's going to cost you 420 million TitanX to start a miner. 10% of that would be 4.2 million. So if you want to start a 100% level miner and get a 10% bonus, you can burn 4.2 million TitanX on top of that miner cost, and then that'll give you a 10% bonus in your HLX rewards. And just take note that when you do that option, you're on the TitanX protocol. You're getting that proof of burn record. So when you start miners in TitanX, you're getting a bonus there as well.
Oh
And then
yeah, that
also there's the cashback reward. TitanX offers 8% for up to 8% for any TitanX that gets burned. And we've built it into our smart contract to split that with the user. So any TitanX that gets burned in our protocol, 4% goes to Genesis, and then the other 4% will go back to the user.
oh that's fantastic. I don't know. I didn't really like. I know that that's something which has been built in, but do you know how the user will get that 4% back? Actually, do they need to claim it on the Titanix, or how does it work?
I believe it's just like in the function. I think it'll spit that back out to you at when you start your miner. When you on that transaction that's burning TitanX, I believe it's gonna give you that remainder immediately.
All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's just all right. It's just gonna give it to you straight away. Like, I mean, you're just gonna send 4% less then, or
8%, yeah. So you burn 100 TitanX. Four TitanX is going back to you, and then four is going to Genesis, and then the 92 TitanX actually gets burned.
all right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how that works. Actually, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's the burn pool as well on TitanX, which has not been turned on. I guess he's waiting for more protocols to launch before he unleashes that, which it makes sense to me. The that pool is currently going to buy and burn TitanX, which is healthy for the ecosystem, but at some point he plans on turning that on. And when you burn TitanX on our protocol, that'll put you in the burn pool rewards as well, which earns you ETH. So it'll be an incentive, I think, that most people are going to want to do when they're mining or staking HLX.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing I just want to show people is if you visit app.titanx.win and you go to this is the burn pool. So this is exactly what dude was talking about here is that there is a 28-day burn pool payout. And when it gets turned on, and if you start a miner and you this is optional basically, but
Yeah.
if you start a Helios miner, you have an option to do a extra burn, and then once you do that, you can participate in the burn pool bonuses, which is actually pretty great. So there's definitely going to be interesting if this is turned on. I mean, we're definitely going to find out to see if when he's going to turn it on. Obviously the biggest thing would be if he turns it on before you guys launch, actually, because it makes it way more uh, lucrative, let's say, for starting a Helios miner. Is that correct?
Correct, but my opinion is he's not going to, and this is just a guess, but I imagine he's going to want to wait for more protocols that are burning TitanX, because as it is right now, nobody's incentivized to, and nobody's doing it. So if he turned it on when we launch, then we're going to be the only protocol that's incentivizing people in that. I don't know that. I think he's going to want more than just one protocol burning before he turns it on. But it's just a guess from me. That's something we can, as a community, ask Jake. When burn pool?
We're
Yeah,
we're in Burnpool, man. Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
think this is guys.
yeah.
Yeah. So we got Ted in the house. Shout out to you, Ted. And Ted is saying, I think Jake said Burnpool won't be active till hyper. So
That would make sense to me too. Yeah.
yeah. So guys, if you definitely want to go on Twitter and say when Burnpool, that'll be also yeah. You're gonna help dude here with his protocol.
And just so you know, like the mining bonuses are there. If you go to the mine page, it'll show you on TitanX right there.
On
Um,
TitanX, one second. Here, yeah.
yeah, and then go to mine. Like you're going to start
Oh,
a
mine. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, and you see down there's a burn bonus amplifier.
Yes.
The burn pool is not activated, but if you burn TitanX on our protocol, you will get a bonus there when you start TitanX miners, and that's active right now.
Oh, okay, that's great. So, so even if the burn pool bonus is not activated,
Hmm.
and you still gonna get a burn bonus amplifier. Could you
Yeah.
explain the burn bonus amplifier for people who still don't know what that is?
It's the more you burn, the higher the percent of it is, and this is over the lifetime of your wallet. It's a permanent record that keeps track of all of the TitanX that you burn. And what is it? 80 billion, I think, is the max,
Yep.
up to 8%. So as you burn TitanX, your wallet will keep track of that and kind of have like a burn receipt of sorts. And as that increases, your percent bonus increases up to 8%.
Gotcha, gotcha. So basically, you get like a discount on your next miners, let's say, like forever.
Well, I wouldn't say discount because the cost to start the miner is going to be the same. It's going to be a bonus in rewards, so you'll earn more Titan but the
Ah, okay,
cost
okay.
will be the same in ETH. Yeah,
Cost. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's a good distinction there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you're just gonna receive a bit more, but the cost is gonna remain the same, pretty much.
Hmm. For the lifetime of the wallet.
Yeah, yeah. But that's great because it's like, well, for the lifetime, which is, yeah, it could be definitely very lucrative. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, this is some of the things is like there's so many little things in Titan X, which is pretty great because I mean, I read through all of this as well, and I know them all. But every time I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. I didn't know Helios will also be part of this.
Hmm.
So I think mining burn bonus amplifier, people understood it. Let's here. Ted has something else here as well. Don't forget, it's limit. It's limit to your wallet. So max 1,000 miners will get this bonus.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, but and nevertheless, it's like if you have 1,000 miners already, it's like, man, you're a big whale. I'm not so
yeah,
sure if you,
yeah,
I'm not so sure if you're really wait like counting on that 8%. But
yeah.
nevertheless,
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
good point. Still a good point.
Uh,
Shout out to you, Ted. Shout out to you, Ted. So now let's get into the H rank bonus. I mean, we know in TitanX the T rank bonus, but we got
mhm.
H rank bonus, Helios rank bonus. So how does this work?
The same as TitanX. It goes off of mining power, not specifically number of miners. But yeah, every miner that gets started after yours is going to give you a bonus. And as time goes on, that bonus will drop down, just as part of the scarcity model that we've got built in. The same as TitanX. And that's with TitanX, that was another thing that they did nobody realized how much extra you were actually going to get. People were in the beginning, people were getting more Titan X out of their miners from the T rank bonus than the miner itself. It was out of control. So now that we've seen Titan X running for 3 months, I decided it would make sense to dial that back some. So it'll still be a very healthy bonus that you're getting, that's not calculated up front in your ROI when you're starting a miner. But it'll definitely be there, and it'll definitely contribute to more HLX.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for sure, especially in the beginning, well, as you said yourself, yeah, I mean, some people like, I mean, you have your principal, and then the T rank was more than your principal or whatever
Yeah,
you got back.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely that was in the beginning ridiculous,
Hmm.
especially if you started mining for the first 6 days or 7 days there, for the first 8 day payout, which I did, and yeah, the T rank was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted has another question here, which is interesting. Are the Helios dev re-implementing all the Titanix mining taking functionality, or are they borrowing, in quotation mark, it from the Titanix code?
We forked some of the code from TitanX and then modified it to fit our needs. So like the functionality is going to be the same with our added tweaks to it, I would say.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that answered the question. So I think yeah, we talked about H rank bonus, and now we have here another interesting number, 420, and that's the share rate. So explain to us, like, it seems like this number is static, so it doesn't change. Why did you choose it to be static, and yeah, why 420?
So mainly another just I guess set of feedback that we got from people complaining about on the TitanX side is that you've got whales that have come in and taken over the pool, and they've kind of, when you're max staking, for 10 years, you're really getting entrenched in the pool. And then so imagine 3 years from now, it's going to be kind of hard to compete with all those people that have gotten in on the first 90 days. So we decided to make it static, so where whether you're coming in on day one or day 1000, you still have a fair share at earning rewards in that. So the cost of it eliminates people from just getting entrenched in the system. And like I said, it's the same reason why we lowered the max staking amount as well, to not have to force people to lock up their coins for 10 years.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's definitely interesting. So, just one thing I was thinking about is, do you know? Have you talked to the Dragonese guys if they're gonna if they're gonna come over and take over the pool as well?
uh, I have not talked to them at all, like directly, I guess I should say. But it's a decentralized world out there, and they can do whatever they want to do. And I think they've already talked about putting one on Hyper, so it wouldn't surprise me. Like, it would be easy for them to just mod a few things and launch it on our protocol as well. So I haven't heard any plans for them doing that, but it's certainly possible. And again, that's why we shortened our staking, so that because that's one thing that a lot of people complain about with TitanX is, oh, I max staked and now my stakes getting diluted, and which in my opinion is not a bad thing. You're still going to get amazing ROI over those 10 years, and then you're still going to get all of your TitanX back at the end of that stake, and you'll have a bunch of, it's like forcing diamond hands. You can't sell for 10 years. And during that process, you're earning rewards. Even if it's getting smaller and smaller every year, like, it's still rewards in your pocket. And you're still, in my opinion, like, going to get 100% ROI on that. So, but for us, say that happens to us and we got other protocols that just start taking over our staking pool. Well, your max stake's only 2 years, so you're able to, if you decide that's staking is not for you and you need to go to a layer 3 protocol, then you're not exactly locked in as long.
Gotcha. Interesting. So
Yeah.
another thing which I would like to ask you is, Titanix miners and stakes can be burned. Is that possible with Helios in Helios system as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So basically, you can start building on top of Helios as well.
Yes, and that's 100% the plan for me. Yeah, I haven't really talked about it much because I'd like the main talking point. Like, let's just get launched first. I don't want to add more complexities to it. As it is, but 100% I intend on adding additional demand to the HLX token, and also I'm looking at ways to do that without taking over my own staking pool. You know, like ways to use HLX that doesn't require it to get staked.
Okay. Can you explain that deeper? I don't understand what you mean by that.
So most of the protocols that are building on TitanX, they're utilizing the TitanX to stake it and use those rewards, us included. So that's kind of what's taking over the TitanX staking pool, is all these protocols building on top of them. So for me, building on top of Helios, I kind of want to avoid that. I think it's possible that other protocols will still do that, and it's possible that they can build on top of us and become whales in our staking pool. But me personally, I've got other ideas that I can do that will add functionality to HLX that's, where I'm not going to be staking that HLX and taking over the pool with a layer 3 protocol. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Robert, and he's saying, "I think something should be done to not allow I guess some whales to take the lion's share of the stake pool, and not us have to decide to get out after the 2 years." I mean, I have probably some thoughts about that, but I'll let you go.
Yeah. Again, this is a decentralized world, and we can't, if you've got HLX in your wallet, that's in your wallet, and we can't. And I would refuse to build that into the contract where we're limiting that. It just that's the beauty of the decentralized world, is just that people can do what they want and they can build what they want on top of what they want, and that's kind of the idea of DeFi that I believe in, is the sky is the limit. And again, you don't have to stake for 2 years. You can stake for a minimum of 30 days. So if you're worried about something like that, you can stake less. And then when your stake's up, you can restake it at the same share price, because that share price is not increasing. You're just missing out on a little bit of the bonus, but everybody's going to have their own risk appetite, and to me, even 2 years is a lot less than 10 years. So I feel like it's a good medium.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so my thoughts on that would be just like, I mean, like look at these two extremes, right? You either have a permission system where you have to ask somebody or an entity to do something, or you have permissionless systems whereby everybody's allowed to do anything what they want, pretty much. And yeah, and this is exactly what it is, right? If you want permission system, then you need to have like a gatekeeping system. That's how it works. Yeah,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is the same way as like I my explanation to this would be like Uniswap. Uniswap is a completely permissionless systems. That's why you also have scammers in there. Like, if you don't like, you cannot stop them as well. It's a permissionless system. Sure, the Uniswap front end, they can delist their token, but nevertheless those pools still exist, like
Yep.
in on Ethereum. It's like they still exist. Somebody
Mhm.
can just make an alternative front end for Uniswap, and they can show any token they want, pretty much. So that's that. Um, yeah.
And
So
again,
we,
that's, to me, that's what DeFi is, decentralized finance. When you add a permission system in there, it's no longer decentralized, and you've got, you know, centralized actors that are controlling things.
yeah, absolutely. So we got a question from Ninja. Nice question, guys. You guys are hitting dude here with some nice questions. So Ninja is saying, "Will I be able to participate in Helios before Hyper comes out? Have you talked to Jake about separating your launches?"
I haven't talked to him specifically about the launch. We definitely don't want to take. We're going to launch on a day that nobody else is launching. We don't want to have a shared launch date with anybody else. But as far as I know, Hyper is going to be further out than we are. I think we're going to launch before them. I mean, we haven't seen an official white paper for Hyper and or dates. I don't know what the updates are on Hyper specifically, but for us, we're already getting through our first audit, about to start our second audit, and we plan on launching as soon as possible.
This is great. I mean, regarding hyper, I think one thing which I might have heard, and don't quote me, I might have dreamt this. Uh, it's around Bitcoin halving. From that's what I have it in my head, but I could still be dreaming, guys. I don't know. Remember hearing it somewhere, but I could not recall right now exactly when it was. So around Bitcoin halving. So there is definitely some time if that's the case.
I
So
mean, if
go
yeah,
ahead.
if I'm Jake, then I would wait. You know, you've already got 15 protocols building on TitanX right now. Like, why throw your own project in there in the mix when you can just sit back and let builders do their thing? And then at any point, he can decide, oh, there's a lull in the market, and then that's when he launches his, launches hyper. That that's kind of the way I would look at it. But again, I'm not Jake, and there's no telling what his plans are on that side of things.
Fantastic. So we have another question here from Todd. And did he say we can burn our Titanic stakes
Hmm.
for Helios?
No, it's liquid TitanX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct. So Marco the Mexican is saying 100% true. Just like when they removed hex from the front end, but you can still use it in the background.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, this is exactly it, right? Somebody can just make an alternative front end, not even just an alternative front end. You can go to GitHub, download the Uniswap front end. It's completely open source, and you can gatekeep. You can add in your own tokens which you want to be shown, and launch that if you want. So that, I mean, that's the beauty of it. Like even Uniswap themselves, they're completely open sourced everything. You can do it yourself. I mean, obviously they have a company, so they need to whatever do their thing. But at least there's
Yep.
all these alternatives. There's CowSwap or 1inch and other stuff which they don't gatekeep as much, I guess. So
Yep.
Orion, he's saying the DAO can allow the community to potentially adjust the permissions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I in a perfect world to me is we grow a community and there's several community members that stand out and really take the lead on the governance side of things. And I think it would be awesome to distribute the owner keys to a community of people so that when the DAO makes decisions, it'll be executed by DAO members. But up front, there's again, it's still in the beginning. So up front, it's I will be the owner of the protocol, and then down the road, I definitely envision passing that on to because you can make the owner wallet a multi-signature wallet and then decentralize that whole aspect of things.
That's interesting. We got another question from Ted
Yeah.
here. Shout out to you, Ted. You are giving us some nice questions here. So, it should be possible to restrict contracts from calling the incentivize function, like executing them BNB in TitanX. Are there any plans to restrict automated contracts in this way?
Are we talking about like the swap for the buy and burn swap amount and frequency that it gets swapped? Or
I think what I'm not sure, but I mean probably what he's talking about is more there,
oh,
like the function for swapping. You get like the 0.3% of the ETH
mhm,
in TitanX, and I think on V1 there was no restriction, so even bots, let's say, they could call those
mhm.
functions. But V2, I think they added a like an EOA, like a normal wallet address can is the only one who can call that. So have you checked into that?
Yeah, we have the same setup. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So you have the same setup as the um,
the V2.
V2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we let's just continue, guys, and we're gonna see. So we got here. Oh, by the way, man, shout out to Smooth and Crypto, Mike Dean and Do Together. What a great live stream! Awesome, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to you, my friend. Great. So let's get back now to one something which I also written down is I think some of this is already pretty much clear. Probably one thing which one thing we haven't mentioned in the investment pool, part of it is also going to be going to the buy and burn V2 of TitanX, right?
Yeah, so the way I feel like the Treasury is the failsafe for the Helios ecosystem, so even if miners slow down, our Treasury will be there supplying ETH to the buy and burn, and incentivizing miners to continue on. And so I see the investment pool as more of like the failsafe for TitanX. We will diversify our portfolio, and even if, let's say, TitanX miners slow down and the TitanX staking pool slows down, that's where our investment pool kicks in. It's not going to be reliant on TitanX specifically, and regardless of the amount of miners in Helios or TitanX, the investment pool is going to be putting value into our buy and burn and our reward pools. So at that point, I feel like doing a direct buy and burn to TitanX, that's our way of giving back to the ecosystem as a whole, and that'll directly stimulate TitanX and incentivize TitanX miners to start back up, which will feed our treasury, and then that will incentivize HLX miners to kick back up.
All right.
So,
So I mean, the question is, okay, 20% of the claimed ETH will go into the investment pool. I mean, it says investment pool. So are you going to be investing that ETH into something else, or how does that work?
yes.
Could you explain
Yeah.
that, please?
Yeah, so it'll be up to the DAO, whatever they want to do. The way I envision it would be having like a low, medium, and high risk type situation. From the investment pool, we will build our, starting off with our V2 treasury. And then once, so let's just give an example like staked ETH. Say the community wants a completely safe yield option. I would feel like the lowest risk strategy would be to convert our ETH into staked ETH, and then that ETH we've got will earn more ETH, and that ETH will go into our buy and burn or in our reward pool, where the principal balance is still an ETH, and we can feel confident that that's never going to disappear. And then like a medium or a high risk would like a high risk would be like let's invest in random meme coin, at which point I would assume we're turning our ETH into said meme coin, and then whatever we're doing with that, is it staking it or I mean, any strategy that can be thought of, we can build a smart contract that will interact with that coin and earn yield from it. So I guess the requirement would be, we're not just buying and selling tokens. The investment pool is not just me throwing it on an exchange and buying and selling and trading. It's more like yield bearing tokens. So it'll be we'll build the treasury, the V2 treasury, and then from there, the investment pool will funnel some of its ETH into that. And, in the long run, we're going to have multiple treasuries. The second we finish building the V2 treasury and it's live, and we start funneling some of that ETH from the investment pool into that V2 treasury, governance will immediately start working on, okay, what's our next strategy? What is our V3 treasury going to look like? How is it going to work? And then once that's decided and voted on, we'll start building a smart contract to do as intended. And that's an ongoing thing. At 10 years down the road, we could have 20 treasuries or 50 treasuries. I have no idea, but the idea is as long as there's ETH coming into that investment pool, we're going to be diversifying those assets, however the DAO is determined.
Okay, So you mentioned V2 Treasury.
Mhm.
Why is it called V2 Treasury? I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
So we have our treasury right now that
Mhm.
max stakes TitanX,
Okay,
right
this
there.
one here, right? Okay.
So we're calling that the V1, and
Oh,
that's
got you.
and its strategy is receive TitanX and max stake it on the TitanX protocol and earn ETH from that. So, like with my example with staking ETH, we would build a V2 treasury that accepts ETH and then automatically stakes that through Rocket Pool or whatever, decentralized function. And then the yield from that, will flow into the buy and burn pool and our reward pools.
So this is now basic Treasury Pool V2, this second one here. Is that correct then?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So gonna yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
We're live. So so investment pool. Oh, okay, I see. So the first one here, this is just going to be TitanX, and this is going to be always growing as well, basically. So
Mhm.
you're going to have something very similar, like DragonX, basically. So you're going to be fighting for the percentage pool of TitanX with
Yes.
DragonX, right?
Absolutely. And our treasury is going to be filled every time someone starts a miner. We're adding TitanX to the pool. So I feel like there's going to be no issue with us competing with getting our fair share of that TitanX pool.
That's great. I mean, just another question. The treasury here. So I suppose this is a smart contract, so somebody can send straight Titanix to that treasury as well.
Absolutely.
I,
That's yes.
I think I think some of you guys out there, you're getting the hint now. What I'm what I'm saying here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is also very interesting because, yeah, we shall see how Helios starts, but this treasury pool, they may also receive some Titanics here to stake as well.
Yeah, and there's no withdrawal function in that. It's the only functions are stake, end stake, and receive ETH rewards.
Receive it. Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to be checking the address here if you
Mhm.
guys receive anything. But I think you're gonna tweet out something very quickly if that starts growing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's going to be very interesting how the Genesis wallet of Titanix, what he's going to decide to do.
right.
And yeah, so that's going to be interesting. So I think this is quite interesting, actually. So let me ask you this one. So this investment pool, which is the Treasury, Treasury pool V2.
Plus, so that would include V3, V4, V5.
All right. Okay. So from here on, all these other treasuries can be created from all the ETH, which is dripping in here, basically. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. So from this investment pool, you're gonna create. I mean, let's probably just do it here
Yeah.
live,
Yeah. You just copy that
and then
and
it's
then
like. So let me just take this down. So this is gonna be V2. So and then we some of that money can just go here, basically. Is that correct? Huh?
exactly. Yeah.
All right, and then they can just be more of it. So we can have here at some point V3 and so forth.
Yes, and all of those treasuries will be the same way, where it's a one-way street. The ETH that gets deposited in the V2, the V3, it's never gonna leave that treasury. It's only taking the yield off of it. So as the investment pool continually drips ETH into all of these treasuries, they will slowly grow larger. And at that point, like with staked ETH, it's self-sustaining at that point. It doesn't require any interaction with HLX or TitanX. It's just going to earn ETH, and then from that ETH, it will use to buy and burn TitanX, HLX, feed our stakers.
All right, that's interesting. So, but nevertheless, all this treasury pool, they're gonna do one of the three things, right? I mean, either
Mhm.
they're gonna send some to the stakers, some to the buy and burn, and some to the buy and burn V2 of TitanX. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the distribution, the percentage distribution of those, this is up to the DAO then to decide. Or
Yes. Yeah.
okay, okay. So the DAO will have. Okay, so this treasury pool, these are smart contracts which needs to be written basically, right? Because every
Yeah.
token behaves differently.
Exactly. And so once the DAO decides on a strategy and it gets passed through voting, at that point we will start building the smart contract for it. And obviously get it audited and the whole thing. And then once it's ready to launch, we launch it. And then I can, once the time lock is open on the investment pool, I can direct ETH into that treasury, and then at that point it's decentralized.
Okay, okay. Do you know the time lock? How you gonna set that up? Is like how does that work?
I'm thinking like do a 30-day time lock, and then every 15 days extend it or something like that, so that there's always like a 30-day time lock on it. Like I'll continuously extend it to where it's never unlocked until we are ready to actually do something with it.
Got you, got you. So the first thing would be this treasury pool V2 basically, right? That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be the first thing you wanna do, right?
Exactly. And we could I don't know, this is something that we can look into as well, in our research and development is once the V2 treasury is decided on, we can kind of skip the investment pool, and the ETH from the V1 treasury can go directly to the V2 treasury. That way people aren't worried about, and then in that treasury there can be functions to drip ETH into the V3 treasury directly.
All
Um,
right, skipping the multi-sig altogether if this
yeah,
has launched. Okay, okay.
that I want this as trustless as possible, and you can't really do that up front until we know what V2 treasury is going to look like, or V3. So,
Yep.
but once those get decided on, I think we can build the smart contracts to where we can cut out the multi sig and just run it straight into these smart contracts.
Yeah, definitely, definitely interesting. I think you're adding a nice little twist here with everything. I liked it because I think when I was reading it, I didn't understand it very well, but I think it's fairly clear now. So, for people who are new to all this DAO, like what is a DAO and how does it work? Like, give us a quick overview.
It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and it's basically, it's used to, in this case, run a protocol. So it's not me deciding on what I want to do with the ETH. It's the HLX holders, and we will interface with the snapshot tool. If anybody's familiar with them, they seem like the go-to option for it. But through Snapshot, you can do governance. It's there's forums. You can propose things to do, and put things up for a vote, and then at that point, um, it goes to voting. And when a vote gets passed, at that point, then we will implement whatever the vote is.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean, just a little, just a little comment out there. You guys can also propose that Mike Dean gets a bit of the ETH as well. I'm just saying, right?
well, when you start your HLX miners, you will have a say in the direction of the protocol, just like the rest of the community. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to some of this stuff. So
Yeah,
I think this is pretty good. You know what? Let's get to the buy and burn here because I think
sure.
for this is just something important for everybody. One of the things which Jake is really hopping on is every project which is building on top of TitanX should have a TitanX slash protocol pool. So it seems you guys are gonna have that's gonna be the case as well, and you actually gonna have a TitanX Helios pool. Is it gonna be 1% fee to your pool as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And our smart contract, it has the option to, as far as the trading fees go, it has the option to receive those fees and then re-add it to the liquidity, or receive the fees and burn them. So up front, it's going to just take all the rewards from that and continuously add to the pool to thicken the liquidity up. But at a certain point, when I feel like there's enough liquidity in that pool, we can switch it over to burning rewards.
Okay, well, that's also a very nice little twist there, because up to now I think people are just burning it, or like TitanX and well, DragonX was also part of it. They're burning the DragonX, but they're using the TitanX to go into their staking vault. Anyway, so that's definitely interesting. What you guys are doing there. So, how is this pool going to be created? How is it going to come into existence?
It's our buy and burn. It's a separate contract. So we have currently, as it is, 3 contracts. The Helios contract that deals with the mining and staking of Helios. Then we have our Treasury contract that deals with receiving TitanX and staking it and distributing ETH rewards. And then the third contract is our buy and burn of HLX. And that contract will be the owner of the liquidity pool. It'll do the initial liquidity. It'll create the pair and create the initial liquidity, and be in control of all of the fees, buying and burning, and all those things.
Okay, but I mean, for creating the liquidity, you need TitanX and Helios. So
Yeah.
how is the Helios first? Like, okay, how is the TitanX going? Like, how does it get? Like, where does the TitanX come from, and where does the Helios come from? How, like, is there a main
The
function?
There is a one-time mint function that the buy and burn is allowed to call that will create the initial liquidity.
Hmm.
And that's the one and only time that HLX can get minted without going through our mining function. So I've been accumulating TitanX, and when we're ready to launch, I will deposit a bunch of TitanX into the buy and burn contract, and then it'll mint a one-time mint of HLX to match that TitanX and create the pool.
All right, lovely. Yeah, I think that's very clear to the viewers out there. So and now let's talk a bit of the buy and burn here. I mean, one thing we can see here, which is in the buy and burn pool, there's TitanX coming in here, but also later on in the from the investment pool, or pretty much from the claim ETH payout, you're gonna have also ETH is in there. So so if you have ETH, then the burning is a bit different, and if you just have TitanX, it's going to be different. So could you explain probably the two difference here, if you have one or the other? Oh,
It's all in one function. And so when the buy and burn function is called, it'll look to see, is there enough TitanX in that pool to do a max buy and burn. So say the limit is 50 million TitanX, every 1 hour. When someone calls the buy and burn, it looks, is there 50 million TitanX in the buy and burn contract? If there is, then use that to buy HLX on the Uniswap pair, and then immediately burn those HLX. If there's not 50 million TitanX in the pool available to do a max swap, then it'll do ETH swap into TitanX to basically re-up our TitanX supply. And then from there, it'll do the max 50 million TitanX purchase.
All
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, up front, it's going to be primarily, straight from the mining. It'll have a bunch of TitanX in the pool, but over time, that TitanX will shut off, and it'll be only ETH that's going into that buy and burn.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I think I like this. Yeah. Yeah. So the buy and burn can definitely work with both. And if the function is the same, it just checks how much it has got, and then either initially it's just going to be buying HLX, receive it, and then straight burn it, or if there's going to be ETH in there, is going to first buy TitanX in the initial liquidity pool. This is the official or the initial TitanX wet liquidity pool, and then do the swap later and do the burning. So that's very interesting. I think I like this. Yeah. So Orion is saying, you're both awesome, and Helios is awesome, and this DAO and investment pools are fire. With
Yes,
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, one of the things is I do wait until I interview people. I don't want to read too much out there so that I'm actually like I learn while we're streaming, and that's the reason why I don't watch anything else beforehand, and then afterwards I start watching everything else. But I just like to because like probably I asked a bit more different questions, and I don't want to be I don't want to be biased when I watch other things. So I think this was really great because it was a bit of for me s- a nice surprise. Let's put it this way, a nice surprise, yeah,
Yeah.
because I was well officially obviously when you know how TitanX work, and yeah, this is like very straightforward, let's say, for people, but I think this here makes quite sense. I mean, especially you have the DAO, and yeah, we shall see how much ETH is going to get in there, but it could definitely get very interesting here if ETH comes into play here.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the fail safe of fail safes. It those V2 V3 treasuries are not going to rely on anything. They're going to have their own principal balance, and they will always be generating yield from those. And that's regardless of usage of HLX or TitanX, that's going to be feeding fresh ETH from outside the ecosystem back into it. To me, it's like we're building the zombie protocol that just can't be killed.
Fantastic, man. I like it. I like it. Rich is saying, hit the like button if you enjoy it. Only 20 likes so far. Yeah, that's crazy, guys. Come on. Spank that YouTube algorithm, guys, man. I want to
Yeah.
see you. Go on that likes, man. All right. So we're gonna go, dude. We're gonna go to the our last section. I think the buy and burn here, I think is fairly clear. And yeah, the last bit here, which is smart contract security. Are you going to be doing audits? I think you mentioned earlier on that you already have one audit done actually, and you're doing the second one. So can you go into that a little bit, please?
Yeah, we are using the two of the same auditors that TitanX used. I feel like the community is already, now that we've seen TitanX running for 3 months, you know, everyone feels solid about the TitanX security. So why not use the same people? And I looked at them, and they have a legitimate profile. These are high level auditors. Um, so yeah, I reached out to them, and they're already familiar with the TitanX protocol, which makes them even more of a fit for auditing our protocol since we have a lot of the same mechanics. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We've got the first one. He's finished running through it. He gave us our list of fixes, which in my opinion were all minor, and those have been resubmitted, and we're kind of waiting the check mark to make sure there's everything that we did is to his liking. And then once he says thumbs up, I've already am in contact with another auditor, and we'll immediately hand over the project to him. And I think he's going to need a solid week to do that himself as well. And after that point, anticipate no issues, and we will be ready for launch.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, you just mentioned all the he's gonna take maybe a week, and then we're gonna launch. Are you saying you're gonna be launching in 10 days, or what's up, dude?
Uh, I would love to put a date down, but
Mm.
there's no guarantees. The second auditor could find bugs that the first auditor didn't find, and then at that point, now we're having to fix more code, and then he'll have to recheck things. I feel confident with things, but again, like what I've learned from crypto is you don't set a date and then get delayed. You get the biggest backlash from the community when they're expecting a certain day and then you come out last minute, hey, sorry, we had an issue, we're going to delay it a week. That's I refuse to have that. So just to be safe on my end, I would prefer to wait until we know for sure. And at that point, it still needs to be a fair launch. So there's going to be, I would say, a minimum of 3 days of notice before we launch, so that everybody's got their TitanX ready. Um, but I mean, I'm ready to launch as soon as possible.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're not gonna launch in 2 weeks?
Uh,
The 2 weeks.
yeah. The 2 weeks meme. Yeah, absolutely. Soon. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. And yeah, I'm just looking here if we have any more questions. Okay, that sums it up. Helios next weekend.
Uh, I
Yeah,
am so excited to release this into the wild, and you know I'm ready to be there on day one, just like everybody else, and start my miners. I'm excited.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is great. Dude, we've been going almost an hour and a half. I always say, like,
Mm.
okay, if we have 90 minutes, I think, yeah, we should be enough. People are watching. We got 65 people watching. So shout out to you guys. Dude, do you have anything else to say?
I feel like we covered it all. Just like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited to participate in this, just like everybody else. And I'm excited to see some of these stats. Like once we launch, we can actually see, follow the Treasury and see how much TitanX starts flowing into there, how much ETH starts flowing into the investment pools, and uh, once once the engine's running, this thing's gonna go. You know,
Fantastic,
yeah,
fantastic. That's lovely. So, guys, if you like Helios and you consider participating, and you might probably have some more questions, don't hesitate. You can
yeah,
join their Twitter, follow their Twitter account. You can also check them out if you have any questions on Telegram. This is a QR code here ready for you guys. So, hop on the Telegram and ask the questions. Dude is there. He will ask. Yeah, he will help you with all the things you're having, and also visit the Helios website, helios -lhx.win. And if you visit that site, let's just go here. um, Actually, what I'm gonna do, this is something, is I'm gonna visit titanxhub.com, and then I'm gonna check Helios, and I'm just gonna click on this link. And guys, this is the exact reason why I created titanxhub.com, because of the pain. Oh, where is that link? What is their website and things like that? I just go to titanxhub.com and then click on the link or anything I'm interested in on the projects. So if we come here to the website, there's a nice latest video here. And also, if you click on docs, you're gonna come and see their white paper. This is the white paper, but nevertheless, there's also on titanxhub.com the white paper link, which is here. So yeah, so we that's pretty much it from my end. So yeah, visit Helios, give them some love, and here, Rich, thanks, great stream, Rich. $10, man. That's fucking awesome. You know where that is going. I will not tell you, but
Yeah.
we shall see. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you, dude, for passing by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye. Thank you very much.
See ya.